However, I'm just going to start playing around with the accessories, relay, addition, everything onto the bike. So obviously I've got the ABS but non-adventure model, but they come, as you're probably aware, they come pre-wired with everything. So here is terminated wires that aren't active yet, but they come for, in theory, the driving lights if you had them, or you could use it for anything really. There's a couple of little bullet connectors up here. They're more for your, originally for your USBs, which I obviously haven't got in this one, and same on the other side. And then there's a similar scenario on the seat on the other, underneath the seat on the other side for your heated grips, which I might use a battery tender or something like that. So all you need to make it all work is a relay. So you can buy it from Kawasaki for 30 or 40 bucks, or if you just buy this model relay online from any shop that sells these sort of things, they're about $6 or $7. So by placing this in here on accessories, all this becomes active then. And I was also able to find online, I think they're the right ones, some connectors to match these. So where these ones terminate, it looks identical. I was able to find these online, so I can make my own scenarios to go straight into here, utilise the factory stuff. And because this one's right here, and it really doesn't matter which one you use, I'm not going to add accessory front lights. I think I'll just go straight from here, bit of a U-turn, straight to here, and I'm done. So I really only have to make this up with a tiny bit of wiring to my USBs, and then I can chuck my USBs in here. Now your USB blanking point for your base model, don't just try to rip it out from the front. It is securely retained. So you just need to get your Phillips head out, undo that, then you can rip it all out. So this is what's been causing annoying vibration while I've been riding along. The whole thing vibrates, obviously, this whole bike being a KLR, but this is the most annoying thing that really gets up a resonance lately. So it'd be nice to get rid of this. So undo that, and then you've got your space free to mount your own. Once that's out, you just got your standard sort of USB point with a little retaining locator. Whether the new one has space for that or not, I'm not too sure, but it should sit in there and cover all that up. I end up just getting your sort of eBay special type one. So what we got, comes with your ring to connect it to the back and hold it on. A couple of standard electrical connectors. And what did we go with in the end? Yeah, we went with two 5-volt 2.1 amp USB. It lights up blue, I think. So we'll chuck that in and see how she looks. All right, she's a tiny bit of a tight fit. I'm going to see if I can, I don't know if I'll even be able to thread it in, so I might just take, I think it says cross-threading yourself if you try. If I could thread it in, that'd be good, because threading it in would keep it nice and retained, but I don't think that's going to happen. So let's see if we can, whether we just force her in and click her through, or whether I might just take out the inside of this ever so slightly. We'll have a go and see what we do. Okay, so I just did like 15 to 20 runs around, back forth with some real light grit sandpaper, maybe 1000 grit, and that's pretty much perfect. So it's letting me, I'll use two hands to get it in nice and straight, but it's a tight fit, but it's ratcheting its way straight through. Okay, so that pushed in perfectly flush, so that's all good. So now from the back, obviously, looks like that, ready for its retaining clip to go around. It's a retaining, I guess, nut to go around, and then we've got our wires. So we're really only going here to here. Adding in your relay is as easy as writing forward. You can see in here and see which way the pins go. But writing forward, it'll sit in location. Then you can sort of grab top and bottom and push down till it's in place. And you can't push no more. So that seems retained. I have a bit of fiddle with it, but that looks retained in there now. Okay, so we've just got a short length of twin 2.5mm external sheath. Positive, negative we'll use here, black and red. Probably don't need about that much. I actually did just cut without even checking, but from eyeballing, I didn't think we needed too much. Yep, that should be fine. I can just tap it onto here with a zip tie. So it's quite straightforward. One end's going to terminate in our, I can never even remember the name of these, you know what I mean? Spade fittings or whatever those fittings are. And the other one's going to utilise the new one of these, which I just marked. The positive one's going to be the one with the purple, and they are just these little items here that you pretty much just put your wire in, crimp it over, feed it through, and you also have one of these little rubber grommets that we put on these wires first, so when they feed all the way through, it seals in the end here. So I won't bore you with it, I'll give it a go. Okay, so that worked really well. I have fortunately had some real tiny little pliers that I used to use with RC sort of stuff, and it's enabled me to crimp every single little crimp, so it's really hard to focus, but there's two in the middle, to crimp, and then crimping over the other end, yanking on that. I can't move it, so I'm not even going to worry about soldering it. If it ever fails, I can just take it out really quickly and solder it, because it's only going to be clicked in here and clicked at the other end with the spade sort of fittings. So yeah, first one on, we'll have a go do the other one. Okay, they're both on now, so I'll just slide them into our bit and see how they click in. So they can only sort of go in one way. You can just see it's got a little clip in there that clicks down and clicks into this void bit here and locks them in. So we'll chuck them on. This has got to be the most successful fluke with zero measuring. So they've located and clicked in, and I've got the perfect amount, like just in. Then I can just push those little grommets in and we are sweet. It's all done. Okay, that end's all done. Happen to have a bit of heat shrink that happened to just slip over, so that's nice and tight. Mainly it'll stop the wires sort of falling out and keep it a little bit waterproof. Now move on to this end. Alright, so she's on and in. I haven't actually done this heat shrink yet. I've just sort of slid on to make sure I can get these on once I put that on with the hand of spread I need. So that sort of sits really good, so I'll just put a little zip tie right to there. It's not too much of an arc, it's quite good, sits quite well. No pressure. Then you have your little red. Didn't know if I bought red, I thought I bought blue, but you know, red will do, who cares. At least if you're not using it and you don't want it on, you can completely hide that away. But when you want it, it's there. So, beautiful. So this is pretty much just gonna run my Garmin, because everything else will be hardwired for the quad lock. Garmin and anything else I might want. So very quick and easy and very cheap. So you're looking at $7, $10, like 20 bucks you could do this, no worries, especially if you've bought some cheaper stuff and found stuff online. But definitely don't worry about buying the relay for Kawasaki, just buy it through here. So yeah, I plugged in, unplugged the relay, tested the wires, positive, negative, with and without the relay in, and obviously, yeah, it's exactly what it does. Without the relay, nothing works, no power comes to here. So you need the relay in for power to come. And obviously it's only when you're on accessories and when you start. So as soon as you turn off, you're gone. So no worries about draining battery. So that's just one of the multiple. So like we set up here, there's some bullets if you need other power. So, you know, eventually if I go, oh crap, I want driving lights. Well, driving lights can just go into here. This can be converted. I'll pop this off and change it and go up to that point. And then driving lights can go in here. Okay, so I ended up wiring in the quad lock just because, say, it's doing a whole run back to the battery with the accessory I bought, like the battery one, which basically means it runs only on accessories and won't drain your battery, which is exactly what this whole plug is. And it comes with different length cables and different right angles and not. So I was able to do a straight run here just to fix it onto the bottom of the bracket here, feed it down through a hole, feed it in, come around underneath. Excess, I was able to just coil 3 or 4 runs of excess there. Then it feeds through our little gap here. It just comes up through there. So I'm happy with that. It's not going to catch on anything. As far as when you turn the steering, it's not going to catch at all. If I need to, I can always bring it back down a little bit and put a little retainer there or something, but I'll just do that. And then this one I'll do the same with. So it's obviously got the USB cable I haven't played with yet. I'll now feed that down this side, retain it here through the gap, bring it in, excess here, and it can pop up as well and sit in the bottom. Because once they're in, they're really not going to be unplugged. So might as well keep it simple. Okay, so that's all done now. So we've got 2 USBs in here. It's a pity from manufacturers they don't make right angle ones so much, but it's still, still doesn't foul, which is good. So it still gets missed when you're turning. So that's all fine. So 2 USBs, so obviously Garmin GPS map comes on, retained here, down through the hole, exactly like the quad lock. Comes down. They've both got about a single, 2 little coils worth of wires here, tucked out of the way nice and neat. I've made it so really nothing should move or vibrate. I put it as tight as I can in there. And then this one here obviously is just our single one up to here. Put in, relay in, job all done. Finished for the night, put the panel back on, done. So I ended up getting more than I wanted, or more than I thought I'd get done today. Thought I might as well route these, because this one does have its own power, but really why use its own power, which means piss farting around, get all the way back to the battery, when I can just utilise this, which runs off accessories. You're never going to drain anything. So yeah, I guess in theory, look, you could just stash all this fully hidden in behind here and not see any wires, but I guess having them so you can take them in or out, I might want to take something else out and charge something else in there. So yeah, we'll leave it like that for now anyway. So welcome everyone, just going to do a quick video. This is just putting the wiring on these direct to battery with a 15 amp fuse put into there. They don't give you a fuse. It's not built to have a fuse in the circuit, but they recommend one, so you've got to actually cut their wires and splice in and do your own thing. This is just that Motopressor small pump. So this is what I'll take along with some of the little soda bomb things pump, and along with a normal bike pump. So I've got like triple backup for pumping up things. Okay, so we're spliced in. Just going to do a bit of solder now. So we're basically going to have battery, fuse, connect to this one, and then that goes all the way to the plug ready for the pump when you go to use it. So we'll put this together. Alright, so she's all on. So it fitted quite well. I just put a little slice in here so I have the wire and still put the cap on. There's a little space here where it seems to recess quite well for the fuse to sit. You know, negative, it comes up to here. And then it comes with a little cap, which is good. So we can just get our little Motopressor pump. We can plug her in. So that's in now. And flick her on. So that's perfect. So obviously it always has power, but it's fused, and it also comes with like a waterproof protector here. So that'll just live tucked in here. And we're all good. So now I might quickly put on a Bluetooth battery tender. They don't draw too much at all, but it means from my phone I can always check the voltage on here, so I know how I'm going. So we'll just chuck that on now. Okay, so I've also added in the battery monitor. So obviously here we've got now two under the nut, one for the battery monitor, which perfectly just slots in, just wedges in under there. It's not going to really rattle. I won't even worry about taping that. It'll just sit wedged under those wires, so that's fine. Okay, so that's all done. I ran the cable down to here, so just retained here and here, so that keeps the clip held together, and you can just pop the top off when you need to. And it actually sort of gets hidden away behind my strap for my tank bag, so it should be pretty safe there. We'll see how we go, but at least it's accessible without taking the seat off then. But I might get a little bit of a Velcro tab to go right around it to hold it on, so it can't sort of separate here. But gravity wise, it should stay together really. If you like this video, feel free to hit like and subscribe. I've got all the SRC gear to put on. So I've got the headlight protector, I've got the dash plate, and I've got the crash bars to put on. So I wanted to get this on before I do that. Obviously you can get these panels off with the crash bars there, but it's just a lot easier without anything in the way. So we'll leave it there today. Cheers.